Well, boys and girls, and something that was certainly surprising and completely and totally unexpected, at least for somebody like your very humble common nerd myself, Harvey Weinstein, yes, the famed, acclaimed, and infamous director, producer, and all-around creepo that hung out in Hollywood and actually was involved in producing some of the best quality television movies out there you'd ever seen, and also was considered as a god by so many people inside of Hollywood. But we also know that there was a lot of dark secrets lurking behind Harvey Weinstein and all of the incredible things, all of the absolutely disastrous and disgusting things that he was involved in over the years, and of course all of the accusations that came out of him. A lot of this stuff played out very well over the last couple of years, and everybody's very well aware of the situation, of what he's done, what he's been accused of, and what he's been convicted of and sent to prison for. Well, now, boys and girls, it looks like, chalk it up to another thing that the New York government can't handle in any way, shape, or form. They screwed up the case, and now it is being overturned on a technicality by an appeals court, and they are going to have to retry the entire thing. So yes, one of the monsters of Hollywood out there that is probably... should I even say that out loud? Potentially certain actresses in Hollywood's father to their children, because no other father has showed up. And we know that there's some very interesting things going on involved with Harvey Weinstein, in particular said actors and actresses. So God only knows, boys and girls. And we also know that Leslie Headland, Harvey Weinstein's former a personal assistant, now has a very sweet, cushy job over the Walt Disney Company, specifically inside of Lucasfilm and what other kind of projects they can try to throw at her. As a very good friend of ours, Ryan RK Outpost, Ryan Kennel actually says, what was it, too ugly to assault Harvey? I mean, come on now, poor Leslie Headland. Couldn't even get the attention from an absolute creep and a monster, but maybe that's why she stuck around. Who knows? She obviously knew where all the bodies were buried, but for some reason, I guess this is how it works in Hollywood. Even though your boss was accused of all those monstrous things, you were as a personal assistant that were with him all of the time. I'm sure you knew nothing about that and had nothing to do with it whatsoever. Wham in power after all, right, Leslie Headland? Well, boys and girls, it has officially come to fruition and it is now overturned, and we'll have to go back through all of this court case all over again. I feel the worst for the victims in this situation, because now they're going to have to go through all of this stuff that they thought was behind them, they thought that was past. It is now going to have to come back up, and they're going to have to redo all of it, and that is absolutely ridiculous. That is absolutely insane, and that is very, very tragic. So we're going to get this article from the Hollywood Reporter and talk about all of this kind of stuff. And please, because the algorithm does not like things like this, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment down below, share it out with all your friends, hit that follow button if you haven't already. Make sure you push this out, because this is information that needs to be out there, because this is an absolute monster who hopefully will end up eventually going directly back to jail. So from the Hollywood Reporter, the New York Appeals Court overturns Harvey Weinstein's conviction. The court ruled that the judges in the New York County trial prejudiced Weinstein with improper rulings, including allowing women to testify about allegations that were not part of the case. Ah, gotcha. The court in a 4-3 ruling ruled that the judge in the New York County trial prejudiced Weinstein with improper rulings, including allowing women to testify about allegations that were not part of the case. The court, the highest court in New York State's judicial system, ruled that the new trial must take place. Under our system of justice, the accused has a right to be held to account only for the crime charged, and thus allegations of prior bad acts may not be admitted against them for the sole purpose of establishing their propensity for criminality. So basically saying that, like, just because he's done stuff like this in the past and accusers have said things about this doesn't mean he's currently guilty of the actual crime. And honestly, this is one of those things that this shows you how bad the system out there is in New York. If they screwed up something as simple as this, like, this sounds like some pretty basic case law, jury or trial, procedure and stuff like that. You'd think this would be pretty basic, but who knows? I don't know. Maybe they thought they were going to get off scot-free and nobody was actually ever going to challenge this. But hey, Harvey Weinstein's got money out the wazoo, and he's got lawyers through the nines. It's a miracle they actually were able to pull off a conviction for this one, if it wasn't for the fact that all of Hollywood had turned against this guy all of a sudden because it was politically beneficial to them at the time. Because there are plenty of videos out there with everybody in Hollywood loving up to this guy and praising him to no end. Funny how quickly Hollywood turns, huh? Guess not such real friends after all. Not saying this guy's not guilty of everything he's done. Not saying this guy's not a monster. I'm just saying, kind of weird how that works, huh? So nor may the prosecution use prior convictions or proof that they prior commissions of a specific criminal, vicious, immoral acts other than to impeach the accused's credibility. It is our solemn duty to diligently guard these rights regardless of the crime charged, the reputation of the accused, or the pressure to convict. So there you go. I mean, it sounds like this is basic, simple case law kind of nonsense, right? The prosecutors, everybody handling the case screwed up. They did things they weren't supposed to, and now it's gotten overturned. And whether or not you believe Weinstein's guilty, which I don't think there's any reason not to at this point, but whether or not you believe he's guilty or innocent, whether or not you think he deserves all of this kind of stuff, whether you think maybe he was just a victim caught up in Me Too, and maybe a lot of this stuff is just nonsense, I have no idea. I just don't know either way. I just know the guy has been convicted by a jury of his peers, and because it was not done properly, it has to be redone. It's as simple as that. That's the law. That's the way the Constitution's written. If you're not properly treated inside your court, inside your trial, they can't hold you to the consequences of it, because obviously they're even coming out here saying that they prejudiced the jury against him right from the beginning. How the hell you can find anybody in this modern era who is not not prejudiced against Harvey Weinstein at some point to redo the jury. We'll find out. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But clearly, Harvey Weinstein is going back to trial. He's going back to court. And like I said, I just feel the worst for all of the victims that were involved in all this kind of stuff that are going to have to rehash this and go through all of it again. We'll see what happens with the justice coming forward. But boys and girls, color us shocked that New York and their court system completely and totally screwed the pooch. And now we have to go back through all of this Weinstein stuff all over again.